Okay, so I've now started reading Chris's book, Justice on Trial. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a review to show what's going on. It's an interesting book. It's not quite as I thought it would be. Chris seems quite a human, quite a normal guy who's doing a very professional job and sort of advising what people are doing, what they're going through. As we look through here, we've got the introduction, study of crime, and in this section Chris talks about a Stuart Ross. I don't know if that's a real person or whether it's a sort of a pseudonym of somebody, but it does tell a story of a guy that was quite successful, bought a lovely big house, drive Bentley to London HQ, 3 children, etc. The chap transferred money all around the world, and the guy got looked at by the NCA, and they moved in on him. And the guy was then put into a top security prison. And Chris went in and said, you can either plead guilty or you can defend it. So one way you're going to, if you win, you'll walk home to your bed, and if you don't win, you're going to get double time probably. So Chris then goes on, and we've got page 11 here, and he starts talking about the history of criminal law and the justice system, or as many would say, the unjust system. And in this section he talks about different the Roman law, Greek law, how it's evolved over the years, and we can see here Chris has got a word for prosecutor. It's the same as actor, and actually when I've gone to court against Lloyds, it's felt very much that it's a pantomime and it's staged to work the same way every time. And what we've been finding with Lloyds is that they use false instruments that they present in court to mislead to get their outcome, especially with land registry originator charges and so on. But going back to the book here, quite a significant thing is 1215, which I knew anyway, but Chris talks about the introduction of the Magna Carta. He also talks about the Catholic Church. And the interesting thing is, if you go in the Royal Courts of Justice, it feels like a very big cathedral. And you've got various Masonic things in there, such as just past the desk. You've got the Masonic display, and you've got the black and white tiles in there, which is a symbolism of the Masonic lodges. And at the end of the Royal Courts of Justice, you've got an unfinished pillar, which again is Masonic. But he also goes on and he talks about the law being used as repression and control rather than a beacon of integrity and rule of law. He also goes on where this judge has done his best to get a conviction by excluding evidence. And again, that's quite a common thing. I went along once and my whole bundle was excluded by the other side. So how can you have a fair trial in those instances? And in that instance, the judge also started talking about a square, and I didn't know what he meant, which I now know is Masonic. So again here, Britain's policy of depriving us, many cases, trial by jury. And I think if we did have juries, a lot of these big companies pushing frauds and that through the courts would be found out and so on. But very good book. Different to what I thought. Probably written on a more humane level, and look forward to reading the rest of it and finding out what happened. About the first chap that Chris talks about in the book. So there we have it. Justice on Trial. I got mine off Amazon. Worth a look.